My name is Tiffany Tatsumi, and I'm the manager of university programs here at the Society of Actuaries in Chicago. So I'm very happy to be here with you today to talk a little bit about the SOA education system and some updates. It's been a little while since 2022, if you can believe it. So first, I'll start with an overview of the SOA and an update to some of our member and candidate numbers. So the Society of Actuaries, or SOA, is a membership organization for actuaries dedicated to education, research, and the profession. As of year-end 2023, we had over 33,500 member actuaries and over 34,000 candidates pursuing a designation. You can see a breakdown of these numbers by region here. As you can see, most of our members and candidates are located in the United States, but I'm very encouraged to see member and candidate numbers growing across the world. Our candidates in Asia make up about 20% of our candidate count currently. I'm looking forward to seeing those numbers translate into members as they begin earning their actuarial credentials. Our programs and services are supported by staff like me and over 4,500 actuary volunteers. We couldn't do what we do without our dedicated volunteers who support us, the profession, and future actuaries. I'd also like to update you on the number of Prometric testing centers in Asia. So Prometric is our testing vendor that administers our computer-based testing, or CBT, exams. After registering for an exam, a candidate will use their confirmation information to schedule an exam appointment at a testing location near them. So here's a list of countries included in the Asia Pacific count from the previous slide and the number of exam centers within each of those regions. For some exams, candidates are able to receive their preliminary results immediately after they submit their exam. And if they do not pass, are able to learn what they scored poorly on so that they can work to improve on those areas for next time. As you may be aware, we have recently undergone a set of curriculum changes and are closing out on the transition period for those changes. I'll briefly walk you through our actuarial pathway, which you're likely familiar with at this point, but still I'd like to point out some of the more recent changes, reasons behind those changes, and what to prepare for as the transition period closes. So here is our Associate of the Society of Actuaries, or ASA, pathway. An ASA has demonstrated knowledge of the fundamental concepts of techniques for modeling and managing risk. The associate has also learned the basic methods of applying those concepts and techniques to common problems involving uncertain future events, especially those with financial implications. They have also completed a professionalism course covering the professional code of conduct and the importance of adherence to recognized standards of practice. Associates who have been members of the SOA for at least 5 years may also vote in Society of Actuaries elections. So there are 4 types of components on the pathway, and each corresponds to a different color. Blue indicates exams. As you can see on screen, there are currently 7 preliminary exams, 6 of which a candidate must pass in order to qualify for the ASA designation. Green indicates validation by educational experience, or VEE. These are components that candidates may complete at university, provided there are courses that are approved for these topics. Otherwise, they can be completed outside of a university setting. Yellow indicates e-learning. These are more qualitative components that involve critical thinking and the use of soft skills, which we'll talk a little bit about more later. And finally, red indicates a seminar. All candidates must successfully participate in the Associateship Professionalism course, or APC, to earn their ASA. This is typically the last or one of the last components that a candidate completes on their path to ASA. Candidates typically work through the learning stage columns from left to right. Adjacent components from column to column indicate knowledge growth from introductory to advanced skills. For example, in the second column, Actuarial 1, you'll see the VEE topic, Mathematical Statistics. You'll notice that from column 1, Foundations, the probability exam, and the economics VEE flow into mathematical statistics in column 2. While not formally required, it would be recommended to have completed probability and economics before moving on to mathematical statistics, as math stats knowledge builds on top of probability and economics. So you can use that knowledge to read through the flow of the rest of the pathway. You might recall that the SOA pathway used to require candidates to study both short-term and long-term actuarial mathematics. One way that the pathway has evolved over the years has been to group together the foundational skills that support both short-term and long-term topics under one exam, Fundamentals of Actuarial Mathematics, or FAM. Candidates will then choose to continue their studies in either short-term or long-term actuarial math. A candidate's choice may be affected by their employer or anticipated future career path. That's why you'll see in column 3, actuarial 2, the choice between advanced long-term actuarial mathematics or advanced short-term actuarial mathematics. Another major difference from pathways of years past is the inclusion of e-learning earlier on in the pathway in columns 1 and 2. This introduces valuable training in soft skills as opposed to just exam taking. Employer and market demand for actuarial training includes an increased need for soft skills training in adaptability and change, otherwise known as adaptability quotient, or AQ, and emotional intelligence, or EQ. 2 e-learning modules were introduced. Those are the 2 that are in the first 2 columns of the pathway now, which emphasize AQ and EQ topics. AQ and EQ is also included in the micro-credentials, which I'll explain soon. And they incorporate AQ and EQ components, which allow candidates the ability to demonstrate and build upon those skills for their CVs and jobs. Now, turning back to exams briefly, I'd like to just remind you what the general preliminary exam schedule looks like. So PNFM, probability and financial mathematics exams, are administered 6 times per year. Each exam is administered every other month. So for example, P is offered in January, FM is offered in February, and so on every other month. These exams are typically the first that candidates will take, and by having so many administrations per year, candidates will be able to attempt an exam when they are ready. As exams become more advanced, they are offered fewer times throughout the year. So for example, the SRM exam, or Statistics for Risk Modeling, is administered 3 times per year, with sittings in January, May, and September. Similarly, the Fundamentals of Actuarial Mathematics, or FAM, is administered 3 times per year, but in the months March, July, and November. Advanced long-term and short-term actuarial mathematics, that's ALTAM and ASTAM, and also predictive analytics are administered twice per year in April and October. Exam registration windows are typically open for about 6 weeks before the deadline. However, PNFM are currently offered as continuous registrations given how often they're administered. As I mentioned earlier, we're still currently in a bit of a transition period between the last set of curriculum changes and our current pathway, but that transition period is coming to a close. Currently, candidates with credit for 1/2 of Fundamentals of Actuarial Mathematics, or FAM, can fulfill the other requisite half by taking a half exam, FAML or FAMS. There is one final administration of each taking place this July. The registration deadline for each of those is June 11th. So if you have any students who are in this situation, I encourage you to share this information with them so that they can prepare accordingly. Before I close out in curriculum changes, I wanted to briefly talk about the FSA pathway redesign as Andy introduced at the beginning of the webcast. While again, it may not be part of your students' immediate plans for their career, as they're likely focusing on earning their ASA, it is still worth noting what they may expect as they continue on toward FSA. You may even be working toward an FSA designation of your own, so this may be helpful for you to know. With the growing global demand for actuarial talent and a slowing pipeline of actuarial candidates, the SOA is making enhancements to help meet future demand. These enhancements will improve the candidate learning experience and provide more flexibility and global relevancy in the curriculum while maintaining the rigor that has earned respect for the FSA designation worldwide. The SOA will begin offering fellowship exams up to 3 times per year. That's an increased amount from what we've offered before. Additionally, candidates will experience a faster turnaround time with regard to grading and have the option to receive detailed performance feedback if they are close to passing an exam. This feedback will help candidates understand proficiencies and areas of improvement for more focused and productive studies, increasing their chance of success taking the exam. The SOA is developing an improved syllabus and source materials that will include worked examples and practice problems. This approach will help candidates connect the material to essential learning objectives and outcomes. Candidates will have the flexibility to choose between specific courses and create a pathway that is most relevant to their career. They will be required to complete 4 technical courses, including 2 in the same subject area where one builds on the prior course. The decision-making and communication, otherwise known as DMAC course, and the fellowship admissions course, FAC, round out the candidate's FSA pathway. Now I'd like to shift back to ASA to discuss microcredentials. You'll see me refer back to the ASA pathway graphic over the next few slides. Microcredentials represent recognition for a candidate's distinct knowledge and skills earned along the pathway to ASA and demonstrate that achievement to employers, coworkers, and professional networks. There are 3 microcredentials, and they are pre-actuarial foundations, actuarial science foundations, and data science for actuaries. A candidate will earn the pre-actuarial foundations microcredential by completing the following components on the ASA pathway. That's in the first column marked foundations. So both exams P and FM, the economics and accounting and finance VEE topics, and the e-learning pre-actuarial foundations modules. So you'll see that it's not just one type of component that will earn you this microcredential. You're actually getting 3 types: exams, VEE, and that e-learning. A candidate will earn the Actuarial Science Foundations microcredential by completing the foundations column, as we previously discussed, under the pre-actuarial foundations microcredential, plus a couple more exams, a VEE topic, and another e-learning topic. So you'll get that Fundamentals of Actuarial Mathematics, FAM, and Statistics for Risk Modeling, SRM exam under your belt. The final VEE topic, mathematical statistics, and that second added e-learning topic, actuarial science foundations module. So those are the 2 that were recently added to the ASA pathway. A candidate will earn the data science for actuaries microcredential by completing the following components on the ASA pathway. You'll notice that one of them does overlap the previous microcredential, but the exams are Statistics for Risk Modeling, SRM, and the Predictive Analytics, or PA exam. You'll also see the e-learning topic, advanced topics, and predictive analytics modules. So you'll see that this doesn't necessarily rely on the first 2 microcredentials, but it does overlap somewhat with the SRM exam. Now, there's a lot of SOA curriculum for candidates to follow, and we recognize that universities do a great job of preparing their students for the exam material and in general for their entry into the profession. So here I'll speak a little bit on VEE, UCAP, CAE, and UEC, and what exactly all of those acronyms stand for. So as we've seen on the ASA pathway graphic, there are 3 VEE topics. That's economics, accounting and finance, and mathematical statistics. A student or candidate must have passed 2 actuarial exams before they're eligible to apply for VEE credits, but that doesn't stop them from taking the courses that work toward them. There's also a fee to apply for VEE credit, but there is no deadline to apply for that credit, which means that a student doesn't need to apply for VEE directly after passing a VEE course at university. Before a university course can be used for VEE candidate credit, the course must first be approved and appear on the VEE directory of approved courses. Requesting review of a university course for possible inclusion on the VEE directory requires an application for course approval. The application is free and can be submitted by the university, a faculty person like yourself, or by the candidate, a student, if the student has the related syllabus and course information. The application and syllabus curriculum information is reviewed by the VEE committee, and if approved, the course will be listed on the VEE directory under the VEE topic area it covers. An approved date range and required score will also be provided on the VEE directory. A university does not need to have an established actuarial science program or major to have its courses approved for VEE. So if you don't have any VEE that's currently approved at your institution, you might have something that's already meeting our requirements. It would just require an application to be submitted and approved. After submitting an application, we would advise that applicants check their inboxes to ensure that they receive a confirmation email and to retain that confirmation email receipt in case there's any questions that come up. It can take up to 10 weeks for an application to be reviewed or longer if there's some missing information. So please don't worry if you do not receive a response during that time. However, if you don't receive a response after generally 10 weeks, we would advise that you do contact our VEE administrator at vee@soa.org, including evidence of your application confirmation email, that receipt, to ask for a status update. So to talk a little bit about that process, VEE applications are received by the SOA. However, the materials that you submit along with it are evaluated by an external reviewer. So if your application is incomplete or missing information, processing times may be a little bit longer. When a course is approved, it will appear on the VEE directory, which is public and can be accessed by anybody on the SOA website. Now, university recognition. So the SOA has 3 university recognition tiers, and they are University Earned Credit, or UEC, Centers of Actuarial Excellence, CAE, and Universities and Colleges with Actuarial Programs, UCAP. These distinctions allow prospective students to learn more about universities engaged in actuarial science so that they can make an informed decision about where they would like to study for university. These tiers also recognize universities' achievements toward providing outstanding education and support to future actuaries and their communities. So over the next few slides, I'll describe each tier in more detail. First, we'll start with UEC. So again, the University Earned Credit, or UEC, program is the highest tier of university recognition that the SOA offers. It allows university students the opportunity to earn credit for SOA exams by attaining a required score on university coursework at Centers of Actuarial Excellence, again, CAE. Participating in a UEC-approved course doesn't necessarily guarantee that a student will earn UEC credit. Students must achieve a minimum required score in each approved course to earn credit for the corresponding SOA exam. A comprehensive evaluation process ensures that UEC-approved courses and exams meet the high standards for the program. This includes having held CAE status for at least 2 years, close vetting of course syllabi and exams, working closely with an assigned external examiner before, during, and after each approved course each semester, and hosting the SOA for a site visit every 3 years. The university's curriculum must cover at least 85% of the SOA's exam curriculum to be approved for that exam. There are also limits to the number of courses that can be used to contribute to that coverage. At least 80% of the grading points for each course must be based on in-person proctored exams, with at least 50% of grading points based on a comprehensive final exam. As mentioned, an external examiner is assigned to each UEC university to oversee the administration of courses, exams, protocols, and procedures. The external examiner and an assigned university accreditation actuary must be in continuous contact with the SOA so that we can ensure that proper level of quality is maintained. There are currently 18 CAE universities that are approved to administer UEC, and we currently hold one UEC application cycle per year. Now, the CAE program, again, that's Centers of Actuarial Excellence, allows universities and colleges with outstanding actuarial programs the opportunity to be recognized for that achievement. The CAE program was designed to meet certain objectives related to the actuarial field and profession, and they include to strengthen the position of the academic branch of the profession, to enhance actuarial research and intellectual capital development, to encourage universities to play an integral role in advancing actuarial knowledge, and to build connections between the profession and top-tier actuarial programs and faculty. To qualify for CAE, a university must participate in a comprehensive program review and site visit. During this review, the university must demonstrate that they meet 8 rigorous criteria displayed here. They must have an actuarial science program and major. They must cover at least 80% of the learning objectives for at least 5 specific SOA exams and all 3 VEE topics. They must graduate an average of at least 10 students per year. They must maintain a faculty team that is sufficient in both quantity and quality, which includes having actuaries on staff. They must produce high-quality graduates that pass SOA exams and secure actuarial employment. They must have proper business and communications courses integrated into the curriculum, be closely connected to industry, and produce research and participate in activities that contribute to the actuarial profession. CAEs are subject to a review and site visit every 5 years and annual reports during each year in between to ensure that our standards are maintained. As you can see, this is a very high bar for actuarial programs to meet, which is why we use it as a minimum requirement for participation in our UEC program. There are currently 40 universities approved for CAE all around the world, and we currently hold 2 CAE cycles per year. Now, the universities and colleges with actuarial programs, or UCAP program, looks exclusively at curriculum. UCAP universities do not need to have an official or formal program to qualify or meet other criteria as described for UEC or CAE. The application process considers individual course syllabi and compares them to SOA learning objectives to ensure that most topics are covered. We also do consider VEE. There are 2 tiers of UCAP. The UCAP Advanced Curriculum, or UCAP AC tier, requires coverage of at least 4 SOA exams, with at least one of those being Advanced LTAM or Advanced STAM, and approved courses for all 3 VEE topics. The UCAP Introductory Curriculum, or UCAP IC, requires coverage of at least 2 SOA exams and approved courses for at least 1 VEE topic area. There are currently 294 universities approved for UCAP. Of this total, there are 102 UCAP AC and 192 UCAP IC universities. We accept UCAP applications on a rolling basis and have dedicated staff to assist with the application process. The information provided for the schools on the UCAP list has undergone some review by the SOA, but should be verified by the student considering the program. And definitely if you are part of a UCAP program, we would recommend that you do review your UCAP profile from time to time just to ensure that all the information that is posted is accurate. Now back to the application. The UCAP application is simple and can be submitted online at your own pace. The brief application form will ask for your university's general details and contact information, along with what level of courses your university administers, for example, graduate or master's level, what VEE topics your university covers, or what you think it might cover. As I mentioned, there may be some courses at your university that cover VEE, but they may not be under your area. They may be in, maybe the program next door. What SOA learning, exam learning objectives are covered and by which courses, and the syllabi for any courses identified. That allows us to look into what is actually being taught to make sure that all of the topics under the exams that we need to be taught are taught. For assistance with the UCAP application process, you can send an email to ucap@soa.org, and we're more than happy to help you with an application. Now, after submitting your application, we would, again, just like with VEE, encourage you to check your inbox to ensure that you receive a confirmation email and retain that confirmation email receipt. It can take up to 6 weeks for your application to be reviewed. It could take a little longer if there's some missing information. So again, just like with VEE, please do not worry if you don't receive a response during that time. But if you don't receive a response after 6 weeks, please contact ucap@soa.org, including that confirmation of your email receipts to ask for a status update. Now, there may be some information that maybe you didn't have available at the time of submitting your application, or just something in a different format that maybe couldn't attach the application. If there are additional attachments or information that you'd like to submit to accompany your application, you can certainly send that along via email to us as well, and we can update your application accordingly. When a university is approved for UCAP, we will email the university contact with confirmation of which exams and VEE it is approved for, and a link for the new university profile on the UCAP list. We'll also work with you to remedy any issues that might have come up. There may be, a course that maybe is missing, that might have some topics that would cover some missing objectives from the initial application. We'll certainly work with you to make sure that the most number of courses and VEE topics are approved. If your university is already approved for UCAP, you can contact ucap@soa.org to request updates to your university profile. It's the university contact person's responsibility to ensure that information on the university profile is up to date. Any updates to contact information, actuarial program information, and VEE and exam coverage should be described in an email, again, to ucap@soa.org, so that we can make those changes. There's no need to submit a new UCAP application. If you're already approved for UCAP, we can just handle this over email. And just a note that updates to the VEE directory that you may be making separately with the VEE administrator are not automatically updated on your UCAP profile. So it's definitely important to, as you're going through and ensuring your VEE is up to date, that your UCAP profile is also up to date. Now, there are certain benefits that are available to UCAP AC universities and also to CAE each year, and they include reimbursement of exam fees for 3 students per year. And so the exams that are covered under that benefit are FAM, SRM, ALTAM, and ASTAM. They also can enjoy a benefit up to $500 US toward one of the following. It can be for study material reimbursement, sponsorship for an on-campus event, or reimbursement of travel costs and registration for student travel. So if you're a UCAP AC or CAE, make sure you're taking advantage of these benefits. Again, email us at UCAP if you have any questions about that. Now, there are certain benefits that also apply to all UCAPs. So that's UCAP IC, UCAP AC, also to CAE. So again, you'll have a dedicated university profile page on the SOA website that'll include key faculty contact information, course coverage for SOA exams and approved VEE, and also the levels of degrees offered. This can be a helpful marketing tool for your university so that students around the world can learn what your institution offers. As with a university profile, you'll also be included on the SOA Explorer map as a UCAP university or college. So there may be a student, a prospective student that is searching for programs near them or programs in another country, and they'll be able to go to this map to find pins for all the UCAP universities around the world. You'll also get notification of university networking events and opportunities, email communication from the SOA regarding exam and curriculum updates, and news relevant to university faculty and students, and alerts about other opportunities that may not otherwise be available for universities not on the UCAP list. UCAP universities and colleges are among those we regularly survey regarding university and college needs, SOA changes, and new ideas. UCAPs also have access to candidate data for their university with regard to students' exam passed and credentials earned. So that could be very helpful for tracking success of your program or just how popular it's become. And to request this data as a UCAP university, you can complete a student data request application. All UCAP benefits are described in more detail on the UCAP webpage as well. Now, I have one exciting update to share with you that affects candidates in Asia and all over the world. The big news is that the Hickman Scholars Program is now open to all candidates looking to pursue an academic career, including international candidates. The Hickman Scholars Program is for PhD students or those who are seeking to enter a PhD program or studies in actuarial science or a related field and who want to join academia as a professor. The program is intended to increase the number of faculty who hold an actuarial designation and a PhD. So this is especially good news for universities that are seeking recognition under the CAE program, which again does have faculty composition requirements that include actuaries and PhDs. So we offer up to $60,000 US total across 3 years of study. Now, there are only 10 Hickman scholars in any given year, so there is a lot of competition for the stipend. So, whether a candidate gets renewed or earns a new stipend, there is really fierce competition for that. So definitely, if you have any students that are interested or may be interested in becoming university faculty, teaching actuarial science, kind of becoming part of the profession themselves in this other way, encourage them to apply. We open a new Hickman cycle toward the end of each calendar year, so around November. And you'll see some notifications coming out about that around then. So please be on the lookout for our next announcements. And again, encourage your interested students to apply. Now, I wanted to conclude by talking a little bit about resources open to university faculty and students. So a few university resources I want you to be aware of include the University Program Resource Guide, which details what the SOA believes makes a strong actuarial program. This document provides advice about curriculum and support towards goals like achieving CAE for your institution. It also does link out to other benefits for students and faculty alike. If you're seeking to recruit new faculty to your program, we do offer fee waivers for academic postings on the SOA Job Center, which is typically used to post actuarial jobs. We have an application form that you can fill out that will provide you with a waiver code, just basically ensuring that it is an academic related position that you'd be posting. I would also encourage you, if you're not already part of it, to join the SOA faculty community, which I'll explain a bit more on the next slide. So university faculty members and staff are encouraged to become members of the SOA faculty community on the SOA Engage platform. So this will allow for online networking among educators like yourself. And we also post news and events directly to that page. So it's another way to keep in touch with us. So to request access, please complete the SOA faculty community application. And again, some things that you'll be offered with this faculty community. You'll stay connected with the SOA and other educators from around the world. It's an online discussion forum created exclusively for university and college professors and other faculty involved with actuarial science. So it is a closed community. Again, there is the application to join, so you can be ensured that all the other community members are faculty like yourself. Members are encouraged to contribute to the community by creating and commenting on posts, and SOA staff like myself will post content relevant to academics. Members may also advertise open actuarial positions with free job postings there as well. You can also direct message with other members of the community, so that kind of eliminates the need to know someone's email address. Sometimes faculty will change institutions, or maybe it's just a little tough to keep track of, but we do have a direct messaging system on there as well. And you are also allowed to upload documents that you would like to share with other community members. You can configure your message alerts to send directly to your email inbox as well. So if you're familiar with listservs or other email subscriptions, you could also have those reminders of, if anybody posts on the community, have those notifications sent to you by email as well. There are also benefits for academics, which we consider university faculty and PhD students. So they include fee reimbursements for SOA exams, reimbursement of expenses for travel to approved meetings, and partial waiver of meeting fees for SOA meetings. We just want to be able to support our faculty, our university faculty, as best as we can. Each benefit does have certain requirements that relate to university and individual faculty member and professor eligibility. So if any of these pique your interest, I definitely encourage you to go to the SOA website to learn a little bit more about those. And you may already be aware, but on the SOA website, we do have links to helpful resources that you can take advantage of as you develop your lesson plans. Or student classroom or club activities, or certain resources that students may seek to take advantage of themselves. So each year, the SOA hosts a student research case study challenge, and we certainly invite your students to participate each year. But what you may not be aware of is that we have an archive of cases, data, solutions for previous case study challenges, and that may be a helpful resource for university faculty looking to develop their own case studies for coursework or projects. So you can find previous student research case study challenges linked on the same page as the current challenge for this year. While students may be well-versed in the topics or content on the probability or financial mathematics exam, they may not feel as comfortable in a testing environment, especially if they have not yet attempted their first professional exam. These students may benefit from our P and FM sample exams. The sample exams not only provide realistic examples of questions that they will encounter on these SOA exams, they'll also have the opportunity to practice their time management skills in a timed testing environment. After finishing a sample exam, candidates are able to view how they scored along with solutions, which can be especially helpful if they were not successful on a question. P and FM sample exams are available on the SOA website on the web pages for the probability and financial mathematics SOA exams. They're free to take. You can take as many of them as you want. I believe the questions do change out, so you're not going to get the same exam each time. Very good practice resource. Now, we also have been working to enhance candidate preparation for exams. In 2023, The SOA announced the formation of the Exam Prep Council, which promotes better communication between the SOA and exam preparation provider organizations toward the ultimate goal of improving candidate progress toward an actuarial designation. On each of our exam pages, you'll find links to exam preparation options, which include textbooks, study materials, review seminars, and workshops. And among the resources available, you'll find options that include videos, flashcards, and more. There's not just one best way that a candidate learns and prepares for exams, and luckily, there's a variety of options to choose from. While enrolled at university, students can enjoy a student exam fee discount. We also do have an international discount program for students who live and will test in certain approved countries, some of which are in Asia. The benefits don't overlap, but both are good to research for any interested student or candidate. We also do have an affiliate membership program that I encourage all students and faculty to join. So the free affiliate membership is open to anyone with an interest in the actuarial profession. There are lots of resources available, including live online events, video recordings, access to online courses. The affiliate membership also offers networking opportunities with other affiliate members and also mentors. Whether someone is already on the ASA pathway or is just beginning to think about a career in actuarial science, the affiliate membership will provide good support and resources. So be sure to check that out and to sign up if you're not already a member. Now, I've mentioned a variety of programs. We also have a variety of email addresses under our university programs umbrella that you can contact about specific programs and general inquiries. I encourage you to get in contact with one of these or directly to me if you'd like to chat more about anything that I've discussed today.